What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. This is my Week 3 waiver wire video. The number one fantasy woe for Week 2 has to go to the significant, the pesky, the annoying injury bug. Injuries hit just about every single fantasy team, and man, all I gotta say is that if your team was injured, you're probably playing against another team that had an injury. It's tough, but this is fantasy football, and that's why I got these waiver wire pickups for you. Let's go into the waivers for Week 3. For quarterbacks, I mentioned this guy earlier, Matt Ryan. Now he's playing against the Saints in New Orleans, where Drew Brees is going to score a ton of touchdowns, and Matt Ryan has been playing pretty well in fantasy. He's been throwing a ton of yards, actually getting a couple touchdowns here and there. Matt Ryan is borderline must-start territory when it comes to Week 3, and what a great QB if you drafted like a guy like Tom Brady and Matt Ryan as a spot starter for those first 4 weeks. Now, other than Matt Ryan, if he is even available, there's not a whole lot of help that's going to come in your waiver league, because I think like what's realistic situations, you likely already have a good QB1. A lot of teams already have a backup QB. If you're in a league that's dual QB or deep league, most of the guys I mentioned are already taken. So I'm being realistic here. If Matt Ryan's available, he's basically a must pick up. But here are some other options as well if you're really hurting at the QB position. Joe Flacco. He's playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Could be kind of a high-scoring game. I know the Ravens, they don't score a ton of points. They're not involved in a ton of high-scoring games, but they don't have a great run offense. So I like Joe Flacco as a nice sleeper start this week. Sam Bradford, I think this is kind of a cool stash in deeper leagues. If you're in a 10-man league, 8-man league, Sam Bradford's definitely not on your watch list. But in deeper leagues, he is. Carson Wentz, this guy's been playing really well, and he definitely should be on your waiver wire watch list. Also, Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy that should already be picked up, but he's owned in less than a third of leagues. A little bit surprising to me, especially with Decker and Brandon Marshall being such great targets. I really like the Jets team, by the way, and that offense is looking really good this year with the addition of Matt Forte. And also Blaine Gabbert. This guy, as a big bonus, has some rushing yards. The offense has not been that bad. That high-tempo offense, that Chip Kelly offense has surprised us all. So Blaine Gabbert should definitely be on your watch list unless you're in a shallow league. I like to rank all my waivers, but for running back and wide receiver, the ranking's not going to really help you. It really depends on your situation, your needs, your scoring settings. So I ranked all the waivers this week except for running back and wide receiver. I kind of separated them as in pick these guys up, and if you're in a deep league, look at these guys. So I did not rank running back, wide receiver because I didn't think it was going to be that helpful for you guys. So for running back, some guys that you really need to look at, and these running backs are scarce. You can always find a wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 on waivers in most leagues, but running backs are scarce. That's why you got to pick up like guys like Crowell should not be on the waiver wire. You have to pick up a guy like Crowell. You can't just leave starting running backs on the waivers. There's not going to be many healthy starting running backs left by the end of the day, trust me. So I got Charles Sims, even better in PPR leagues. Make sure you keep track of Doug Martin's injury. Of course, Jerick McKinnon and Matt Asiata. Those two guys they could be splitting carries. It could be one guy 1 week. It's basically like 2 guys equals 1 Adrian Peterson. I'm not going to say one's much better than the other. I predict that the Vikings will do pretty much a 50-50 split, something like we've seen in Atlanta with Freeman and Coleman. Kristen Michael is a guy that, again, should not be on the waivers because Thomas Rawls, yeah, his injury is not significant this week, but that should be enough to scare you into getting Kristen Michael just in case. He's also been more effective. That Seattle Seahawks offense has been pretty bad, but like I said, RBs are scarce. Kristen Michael in a 12-man league definitely needs to be rostered, and in most 10-man leagues, I don't see why you want to leave a guy like that on waivers. Between Fozzie Whitaker and Cameron Artis-Payne, I think you may want to go with Cameron Artis-Payne here. Both are worth rostering if you do need a running back spot start. Now, Chris Johnson and Alfred Morris are 100% must handcuffs. Now, I don't care if you have a good RB3. I don't care if you have a good RB2. If you got David Johnson or Ezekiel Elliott, I would definitely handcuff them with Alfred Morris and Chris Johnson. If one of those guys go down, you don't miss a beat. Yeah, the backups aren't as good, but you already know David Johnson's out, Ezekiel Elliott's out, Morris and CJ2K, they're going to be balling. They're going to be instant RB1s right away. I definitely recommend handcuffing those guys. Now we're getting a little bit deeper leagues. Kenneth Dixon is definitely worth a start because the Ravens' run offense has been poor. The coach doesn't like it. It's just been horrible. They're going to definitely give Kenneth Dixon a try. Now, I don't know how successful he's going to be. I honestly kind of doubt that he's going to be successful. But like I've been saying, the theme of this video, RBs are scarce. If you have an IR spot on your bench, you have a deep bench, 7 or more players that can be that you can sit each week, Kenneth Dixon is definitely worth a start. Definitely worth an add on your team. Jay Ajayi, question mark, because this guy is just a question mark, and I don't know how serious Arian Foster's injury is. Make sure you keep tabs on that. But hey, you know, he may be worth a spot on your roster. I don't know how good Jay Ajayi is going to be. I have lots of doubts in him. We'll also look at Kenyon Drake, the other running back on the Dolphins. This will likely be a split between Ajayi and Drake if and when Foster were to miss some time. In PPR leagues, you definitely want to pick up Shane Vereen in 12-man or deeper. Darren Sproles has some pretty good matchups. Chris Thompson, same thing, PPR leagues. Dwayne Washington, he's kind of worth at least a watch on the lines. Not owned in a lot of leagues. Could be kind of that vulture TD guy right there. Devontae Booker on the Broncos, and we're only getting into deep leagues. And possibly even Kenneth Farrow on the Chargers. This is only super deep leagues, guys. I probably wouldn't pick this guy up in a 12-man, maybe not even a 14-man. The Chargers just signed Dexter McCluster, so, you know, only in a 16-man or deeper is where I'd probably consider picking up Farrow. For wide receivers, I'm going to say straight up, I was wrong. Mike Wallace, he's a real deal. Now, I still believe that he won't be, you know, great every week, but as a wide receiver 5 on your team, he's basically a must pick up. He's definitely wide receiver 4 and possibly wide receiver 3 for your fantasy team. He's going to be good. Joe Flacco's looking okay. The Ravens are passing the ball, and they're utilizing Mike Wallace to his ability. Devontae Parker. Wow, this guy's been really good when he's healthy. Definitely worth a roster spot. And all these guys are really close here. These guys are the first 4 or 5 guys I'm gonna mention are really worth a spot. Terrell Williams of the Chargers, of course. Quincy Enunwa. Wow, this guy's been really killing it the first 2 weeks. Wait till he starts getting a couple touchdowns here and there. He's definitely worth an add. Philip Dorsett, I like him, even though if Moncrief is healthy, we'll see if he does play. I don't think Moncrief's going to miss much time, if any at all, but Philip Dorsett should definitely be owned. Victor Cruz should definitely be owned, and I believe I was right about Tyler Boyd. Watch towards... He'll keep getting better as the season goes along. Now, the Bengals like to spread the ball a lot. We don't know who's going to ball out. I mean, AJ Green's the main target there, but Tyler Boyd's worth an add in 12-man leagues or deeper, especially PPR. He's definitely a good add in PPR. Cole Beasley's the real deal for more of a wide receiver 5 or wide receiver 4. And I really like Anquan Bolden, same thing, more of a wide receiver 4 or 5 on your squad. Golden State has been ridiculously horrible, so Anquan Bolden, man, that's definitely a guy to add. He's very reliable, not super explosive, you know, won't get you those huge 50-plus yard touchdowns, but he's definitely reliable. More of like a tight end type wide receiver now in his more mature age. And in deeper leagues, look for Danny Amendola, Seth Roberts, Dorial Green-Beckham. I'm really high on this guy, a super sleeper waiver pickup right there for DGB. I see him getting better. Marcus Whedon been hurt the first 2 weeks. I think he will resume that number 2 wide receiver role on the Steelers. That's not a obliging contract there. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm just projecting he will be like wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3. Definitely see him being a top 3 target in that Steelers passing game. Adam Humphries, Rashard Matthews, And Adam Thielen, yeah, that's only in super deep leagues right there. For tight ends, I got these top 5 guys should be picked up in just about every league, guys. Jacob Tamme, #1 pickup. Also Dennis Pitta. Clive Walford has tons of potential. Could it be a breakout year this year or next year? If you want to take that risk, pick him up this year. Hey man, that's a good pickup right there. Kyle Rudolph and Jesse James also should be owned in leagues as long as Ladarius Green's not playing. Doesn't seem like he's going to be playing for quite a while. And in slightly deeper leagues, we have Vance McDonald, Jordan Cameron, Jared Cook, Jack Doyle. I think this guy's the real deal, fellas. We looked at Martellus Bennett and Rob Gronkowski being that 2 tight end fantasy monster right there. But it's looking like the Colts with Dwayne Allen and Jack Doyle. Now, I don't see Jack Doyle and Dwayne Allen balling every week or anything like that. You know, we're not talking anything superb. But in deeper leagues, yeah, man, this guy's looking pretty good. Dwayne Allen was a great sleeper. I was dead on with that in my preseason predictions. And now Jack Doyle, 3 red zone targets in 2 weeks, including that tough week 2 matchup against the Denver Broncos defense. Trey Burton, as long as Zach Ertz is out. And super deep leagues, we have Vernon Davis, Mercedes Lewis, and Lance Kendricks. Top 5 defenses this week. #1 defense to pick up. Miami Dolphins playing against the 3rd string quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. The Giants defense, I like what I see here. Huge shock right here from the Giants defense going against Washington. And it's a little bit close right here after I passed the Miami Dolphins at #1. 2, 3, 4, and 5 ranks for defenses I have for pickups are really close. The Cowboys, the Buccaneers going against the Boo-Boo Rams. Ew, that offense has no vertical threat. 3 field goals scored in 2 games, 9 points in the first 2 weeks for the LA Rams. That's horrible. And the 49ers defense against the Seahawks. No, I don't love the Niners defense, but I love this to possibly be a low-scoring game, and we love picking up defenses in low-scoring games. And for kickers, my top 7 kickers this week. Brandon McManus, #1. Josh Brown, Giants kicker. Matt Bryant, awesome kicker this week. Cairo Santos should be owned in every league. Chris Boswell should be owned in just about every league. And Dustin Hopkins and Nick Novak should be owned in a lot of leagues, especially deep leagues. And for super sleeper, more contrarian picks, want to be sneaky in deeper leagues, look at Sebastian Janikowski. Andrew Franks should be a good short-term pickup. Also look at Josh Lambo, Jason Myers, and Ryan Suckup. And that's all my waiver wire picks for week 3. If you guys have a fantasy football question, whether down below in the YouTube comments, on Twitter, any social media, make sure you use hashtag AskTheBrain. That's this hashtag right here, right behind me. That way I know you're a real Fantasy Couch fan. Also, make sure you guys share this video, how to play fantasy football. You can share it with someone who doesn't know how to play, or share it with someone who sucks in your league and actually does know how to play. It's a good way to do a little bit of trash talking, and it helps me get some views. I'd really appreciate it. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate all the likes. So make sure you like the video, all the comments, and all the subscribers. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys on the next video.